Hello, and welcome back to Firesense Gaming. My name is Ben, and today we're going to continue on with Suzerain. The last time we left off, we kind of signaled our intentions for what we wanted to do with our economy and our constitutional reforms, and set up a meeting with Marcel Cronti. So, today we're just going to kind of pick up where we left off, and we're going to start with the newspapers again, like usual. Alright, Sordland today. Economy meeting held in Holsword. Contacts close to the government report that yesterday, Sordland's economic policy has been planned behind closed doors. Shortly after the meeting that was also attended by President Rain, the Ministry of Economy has released a statement regarding the short-term economic plans, which included the promotion of the planned economy. And the Lockhaven Times. Freezing temperatures recorded. The Meteorological Institute reported the record low temperature of -29 in the city of Suzerain. A warning for frostbite has been issued in the cities of southern Bergia. People are advised not to go out unless they must due to the risk of frostbite. Schools are closed for this period. Alright, I wonder what temperature system they're using. It's -29 Fahrenheit is already horrible. 29 Celsius is even worse. I think that'd be more than just a little bit of frostbite. Interesting. Alright, anyway. Let's move on to the radical here. Nationalist violence. A man in his 20s has been beaten with baseball bats in a paramilitary-style attack in Arvery. The man claims to have been attacked because of his ethnic background as an Agno-sort citizen. He was approached during a walk through the park by a group of right-wing extremists who were suspected of being regulars at the local Nationalist Front Party office. The group inflicted injuries to his legs and arms, police said. The man was brought to the hospital after making his way to nearby property. The police service of Arvery said it was a brutal attack for which there is no justification. There is no place for attacks such as this in our society, said Eric Neal, mayor of Arvery, and called for unity and urged restraint from the populace. Alright, and from the Economists, Armadine Industries pioneering electronics. A new prototype for the first pocket radio was displayed by the Akasian Electronics company Armadine Industries in Ventry City. After 6 years of research, the engineers behind the pocket transistor radio have revealed that the material science questions regarding the composites have been solved. The company is now filing the patents for the product. CEO of Armadine, Aaron Bridges, is predicting an IPO at VCSE in the upcoming years. In a bid to raise further investment, Mr. Bridges has called for all venture capitalists who believe in the future of science and technology in the marketplace to invest in the company. President of Arcasia, Dwight Walker, praised the bright minds of Arcasian engineers following the announcement, called for further technological advancements for the military-industrial complex. It's obviously going to make everything military. Alright, let's take a look at some of these reports here. From Morna, increasing unemployment. The number of people filing for unemployment in Morna continues to rise as the recession continues. The change in economic conditions is historic and stunning in its speed, said the mayor of Morna. In the aftermath of the crisis of 1951, the unemployment rate in Morna rose to 9% in the following year. The last 6 months have almost erased all gains in employment over the last 2 decades. Fantastic. Alright, from Lenkirk Infrastructure Report. The recent collapse of the tourism industry in Lenkirk has led to a reduction in trade traffic and road maintenance. The road network is currently in service but is in need of substantial improvement. Ports, country roads, and bridges similarly suffer from lack of investment. Firms doing business in Lenkirk report a significant shortage of warehousing facilities, particularly refrigerated facilities, implications both for the transportation system and the ability to serve the population's basic food and health needs. Alright, another infrastructure report from Gelsord. The recession led to a reduction in rail assets, with more than a fifth of the railway network, itself antiquated, being mothballed in the recent years. While the main lines of the railway network are currently in service, increasing demands in goods from Gelsord to the capital is pushing the network to its limits. The rail signaling system in the region dates from the middle of the last century and is also in need of improvement. Just a little bit. Trains from 1800s, are definitely much crappier than the ones from 1950s. Alright, and increasing homelessness in Deer. The region of Bergia is among the worst hit regions in Sordland, where homelessness has skyrocketed since the economic recession. The number of homeless in the city of Deer is more likely to have increased by more likely to have increased by 25% last year. There we go. The rise was particularly stark among British people, where homelessness increased by 72% in just 6 years. It is reported that homelessness among ethnic minorities has reached the highest level in more than a decade. The British minority of the region now account for up to 47% of all homeless people there. And some good news for a change out of Sarna, promising agricultural growth. For the first time in 3 years, the agricultural output of Sarna has increased. Many experts link the increased output to both a drop in temperatures and new farming practices that have been adopted in recent years. Additionally, farmers are now accessing more generous credit allowances from the government that were left over from the Alfonso administration. The Ministry of Agriculture reports that the region's agricultural industry has the potential to become a powerhouse in the future if investment persists. Nice. Good to get at least a little bit of positive news out of all of those. Alright, let's head to Lockhaven to invest in a mega infrastructure project. Let's see. Ministry of Economy has put forward 2 bold plans for mega infrastructure projects that help with economic recession in the long term. Investing in projects of this scale would take up some portion of their budget, but could prove worthwhile if accomplished successfully. I don't see any reason why I wouldn't invest in this. Yeah, and I don't really see anything in this little guide I'm looking at to tell me one way or the other, so let's go ahead and invest. It's fine. Right. And looks like that's the only new thing, so discussion of potential infrastructure projects. The view towards the Marking Sea from Lockhaven was nothing short of exquisite. The seaside state residence, fittingly named the Blue Mansion, was large, fine, and accommodating. But enjoying the luxurious mansion wasn't the main reason for our visit. We gathered the economic team here to discuss the new infrastructure investment projects. Half an hour had already passed since the start of the meeting. Fortunately, I didn't even have the chance to have my usual afternoon coffee. Looking at the view from the windows, I let my mind drift for a couple of seconds. Simon's voice brought me back into the ongoing discussion. Mr. President, we need to focus on boosting the economy as quickly as possible. One of the fastest ways to achieve this is through infrastructure projects. What can we focus on? On the one hand, businessmen are complaining about the slow logistical rail network between Holster and Lockhaven. Lily started talking as soon as Simon took a breath. On the other hand, citizens are criticizing the lack of a proper highway connection between Lockhaven and Aubrey. The narrow roads by the seaside are not only dangerous, but also difficult to traverse. We need to pick the most profitable option for the economic growth. Which is obviously connecting our 2 most economically powerful cities. It is not the business people that suffer, but the ordinary folk. What really matters, though, is that we can accomplish something tangible in your first economic act. We must prove our administrative capabilities. People must know that this administration can get things done. Therefore, I find 2 important projects for attention: the H3 Highway Project and L1 High-Speed Railway Project. Mr. Holt repositioned himself on the chair to take a more comfortable posture. The ministry can only support 1 project at a time with the current capacity and budget. Let's move on to the details of each. So, which one do you want to hear about first? The highway project. The H3 project aims to improve the abysmal state of the road network in Island region bordering Enolia. The area is home to several million Agnosaurus and Sordish who feel neglected. There are no proper highway connections to and from Island. Mayor of Arbery, Eric Neal, has been asking for a bigger budget to develop the regional infrastructure. They told us that even trucks are having a hard time traveling the main roads. Increased traffic is causing trouble for people commuting in and out of the region. I agree. This could also hurt the local businesses. It is, bless their souls. I'm happy we're thinking alike on the matter. Let us look at the map. I looked at the map. Lilius was pointing at Lockhaven. The H3 highway route starts here and leads to Lenkirk. There it goes all the way to Arbery. As a result, the road network towards our Northern capital Stoppel will improve substantially. She paused and leaned forward in her chair. I saw that the central government continuously neglect the Agno-Solish-dominated regions when I was mayor. Is this administration going to continue that kind of negligence? We should no longer neglect a key region for our trade with Magnolia. Yeah, sure, but most goods flow to Lockhaven Wholesale, which gives importance to logistics there. It has to be pointed out that the highway will be less beneficial in the near term. I have to disagree. It will increase the speed of transportation throughout the region. Our citizens will be quite pleased if we successfully accomplish this. Besides, if we enter trade talks with Magnolia, they would see the investment as a positive sign. Yeah, this is interesting and all, but could you tell me about the other project? Your predecessor, Alfonso, has failed to deliver on this campaign promise, but now we have the opportunity to start construction of the groundbreaking railway project. As you know, our current trains cannot meet the standards of today, as many other countries adopt this new electric engine technology to power up the trains. We've fallen one step behind. News about the new electric trains in United Canton has piqued the business interest. They too want to transport resources and material from Ulster to Lockhaven with great speed and efficiency. This could also empower the businesses and bring investments. This should be our priority, growth and development optimization. Our plan is to upgrade the old L1 line from Holzer to Lockhaven and will transform to high-speed rail. I looked at the map. Gus was pointing Holzer while Simon was looking attentively. Plans construction starts right here at the capital. We'll go to Anarka first, then connect to Gelsord. After which it will reach Lockhaven, our economic powerhouse. The L1 will significantly boost the economy on the newly linked cities and even the rural areas in between. Lockhaven is our primary port, so the goods unloaded there will be transported to Holsord much faster. I believe this would benefit the businesses and Swordland as a whole. For the wealthy and middle-class citizens of these regions, but not for the poor dears who wouldn't be able to afford the increased stick prices. Mayor of Anarka, Kurt Moss, also requests this project be prioritized. Businessmen in the region will be very content with it, increases investments in employment. Therefore, I will recommend the L1 high-speed rail project. I have settled on a decision. Excellent. What will your final choice be, Mr. President? Alright, well, I don't see anything about this in this little guide, which may or may not mean anything. So, I'm going to go with the railway, because I did the highway in my last playthrough. So we'll see what happens with the rail project. I've decided on the L1 high-speed rail project to improve connection between our most productive cities. The right choice, Mr. President. The negotiations will begin in the middle of this year. We'll be able to award the contract to a corporation of your choice. The Ministry estimates that the entire construction will finish in 2 years if every step going forward is executed successfully. Good. Is there anything else? This should be all, Mr. President. See you soon, Mr. Rain. Have a nice day, Mr. President. Evening settled on the beautiful coastline of Lockhaven. Nice. Okay. Journal. Just updating a couple things I missed last time. Except the offer to meet with Marcel Caronti, planned economy, constitutional reform, yeah, and then the high-speed rail projects. Nice. Alright. Well, looks like the next thing is going to be moving on back to Holsord. Invest in Arcasian Company. A personal investment opportunity has been relayed by Mr. Manger, an experienced stockbroker in Ventry City, Arcasia, selling valuable shares of Armadine Industries, an upcoming electronics manufacturing company. You could invest or let the opportunity pass. I remember last time this paid off quite nicely, so we're going to go ahead and throw all our money at it and hope it still works. Alright. And back to Holsord once again for the inauguration ball. I had just finished buttoning up my suit jacket when the doorbell rang. The Presidential Guard had arrived to pick us up for the inaugural ball. The ball was a 3-decade-old tradition, breathlessly anticipated by politicians, bureaucrats, and the press. All eyes were about to be on me. I called on Monica to get the children ready. Looking in the mirror, I straightened my tie and took a deep breath. After tonight, there would be no turning back. Suddenly, Diana hugged me from behind, startling me a little. Monica had fixed her hair into an elaborate braid, woven through with ribbons. Papa, Mama told me it's time to go. Hello, darling. I'm ready. Where's your brother? I think Frank is still upstairs. She shrugged. It was almost time to leave. The big ball was starting in less than an hour. Now, where's my first lady? Monica came down the stairs. She was wearing a simple yet elegant beige sheath dress and short heels. Her hair had been neatly pinned into a chignon, showing off the pearl earrings I had given her for our 15th anniversary. All those years she had stayed by my side. Now we were about to begin the most challenging chapter in our lives yet. How do you do, Mr. President? Just give her a hug. Why not? Pulled her into a deep embrace. Monica, my love, you look as gorgeous as the day we married. Now, there's the chum that got you elected. Frank trudged down the stairs. This thing itches. Frank tugged at the collar of his new tuxedo. He seemed ill at ease. You good to go, Frank? Yes, the sooner we go, the sooner it'll be over, right? But are these people going to be around us from now on? She pointed at the presidential guards at the door of the house. These people are our friends, Diana. It's alright, baby. We're to make sure nothing bad happens to your papa or his family. Monica held Diana's hand. Together, flanked by the guards, we walked out the door. Halfway to the car, Frank stopped abruptly and turned towards me. Dad, do I really have to go? Can I stay home instead? You'll love it, son. I'm sure there'll be plenty of pretty girls to dance with. There's even time between all the boring speeches. I guess I have no choice. Got that over with, Frank. Let's go. The car's waiting for us. The presidential guard showed us the way as red and blue lights flashed around us. Serge, my driver, ushered us into our armored limousine. The motorcade started moving towards the palace. I gazed out the window, deep in thought. Anton, what are you thinking about? I was thinking we've come a long way together, haven't we? Yes, we have, and there's still so much to accomplish side by side. Just remember, no matter what happens, the children and I will always be here for you. I'm going to help Papa fix everything. Frank rolled his eyes. I know you will, honey. This means a great deal to me. For what seemed like just a few minutes, the convoy slowed to a halt. Serge rolled down the limousine's soundproof partition. We're here, sir. Hope you enjoyed the drive. Much appreciated. How are you today, Serge? I'm just as good as I can, but today's your day, sir. Glad you are at church now. You know, my entire family voted for you. Thank you and your family. I'm here with all of your support. No reason to thank me, sir. You're the one who sparked the glimmer of hope in us all. Serge opened the door for me. The normally imposing palace was festooned with garish banners that nearly made it look cheerful. A line of shiny luxury sedans stretched around it. Politicians, bureaucrats, and celebrities, the creme de la creme of the sordid elite, streamed inside the building. Good luck out there, Mr. President. See you on the trip home. I stepped out and immediately found myself surrounded by loud voices and camera flashes. Hordes of eager journalists thrust their portable microphones my way. My guards fended most of them off, but one woman managed to dodge them and corner me. I recognized the Swordfish Broadcasting Company logo on a press lanyard. Mr. President, do you plan on working together with the opposition parties on expected constitutional reforms? If the opposition is willing to support us. Mr. Rick, to clarify that as long as you support the demands of democratization, they'll work with you on all issues with cooperative spirits. What do you think about the statement? Well, we want the other parties to join them in this endeavor. One more question. One of your first acts as president was to sign a campaign finance law allocating public election funds by seats in the assembly as opposed to number of votes. Is this a deliberate attempt to defund the Communist Party and the Bloody Workers' Party, neither of which have reached the election threshold? No, it's to ensure the USP has the funds we need to stay in power long enough to truly bring democracy to this country. That's enough, ma'am, said one of my guards, while nudging the reporter away from me. The path through the crowd was now open, and we quickly made our way to the entrance of the palace. At the same time, a dozen fireworks went off. The entrance was decorated with beautiful ribbons in Sordland's colors of white, yellow, and maroon. A lush maroon carpet had been rolled down the stairs. We entered the lobby and joined the throngs of people making their way towards the ballroom. Behind me, I heard a familiar voice. Ah, there they are, the most beautiful family in Sordland. Uncle Peter! Hi, Uncle Peter. It's great to see you. You two are growing faster than I am getting wiser. Are you sure you've gotten any wiser, Peter? Maybe not. After all, I'm still sticking with you. Happy to see a familiar face, Peter. Evelyn. Peter's wife, Evelyn, approached us and shook our hands with a firmness that belied her delicate features. Congratulations, Anton. I have to say, the results were clear to me from the beginning. Thank you. We both worked hard to make it happen. We know you did. You deserve the position. It's a night we reap the rewards. We can start by getting some drinks. You read my mind. Peter grinned and beckoned a roving waiter. The four of us each took a glass of champagne. Monica, how are you? You've barely said a word. I'm more than relieved of this roller coaster ride over with, but of course now the real work begins. Oh yes, managing the hill, planning parties, dealerships, and so on, lucky best for foreign dignitaries. Don't be so old-fashioned, Evelyn. I plan to use my power as First Lady to advance the position of women throughout Suzerain. Equal rights for our sex are long overdue, wouldn't you say, Anton? Let's be. We'll go with that one. Why not? That's my wife, never content to be just a pretty face. Monica flashed me a smile. Okay, cool. That came off as less dickish than I anticipated. Deanna suddenly jumped in between us and tugged my sleeve. Papa, can we go? I want to see the ballroom. Of course, my darling. Let's not delay any longer. We left the lobby and made our way towards the ballroom. Inside, we were yet again surrounded by a noisy crowd, but this time it was the politicians who sought to appease the new authority in Swordsland. Spent the next few hours shaking hands, joining various conversations, some serious, some superficial, and making speeches. We finally settled down at our dinner table with the Vectorns as the band started playing some slow jazz tunes. Oof, that was exciting. If I have to shake another hand again. Suddenly, a loud banging noise echoed from outside the ballroom, then another, and another. The musicians stopped playing. Everyone in the room was looking around in confusion. Hader and I turned towards each other, realization dawning on both of our faces. Fireworks? No, gunshots. As soon as Monica heard the word, she lunged from her seat. I threw myself at Monica, Deanna in front to shield them. Papa, what's happening? I knew it. We never should have gone. Chaos broke out as some guests flung themselves under the tables and others ran towards the doors screaming. Deanna burst into tears while Frank tried to comfort her, hiding the fear in his own eyes. 3 more gunshots rang out loudly. Mr. President, are you alright? Carl Greiser, head of the Swordfish police force, is running towards us with 3 more police officers in decorated uniforms. They all had their guns drawn. As soon as he made it to us and saw that we were unharmed, he let out a big sigh of relief. Yeah, thank God. Status report. 1 sec, Mr. President. Turned around quickly to his men. Check the perimeter, now. Oh, Jansen, follow my lead. Bring them to the safe room. Now turned to Monica, Evelyn, and the children, spoke in a softer voice. Don't worry, the situation's under control. Please follow me. We promptly followed Carl through the winding halls and corridors of the palace, his men still their guns drawn, which did nothing to ease the tension. On the way, Peter made an attempt to break the silence. What a fucking night. You'd say that again. Carl turned to us with a serious face as we were about to round a corner. Quiet, please. Sorry, I talk when I get nervous. Peter, shut up. Carl flipped a switch on the wall and a panel opened, revealing a hidden staircase leading to a large reinforced door. Inside, a set of emergency lights flickered on. The safe room was comfortable and spacious, with expensive-looking leather sofas. Small security monitors on the wall displayed grainy footage of each room in the palace. There's a boardroom and a pantry containing enough provisions to last us months. Monica and Evelyn sat the children down and started wiping their tears. Carl stepped away from us and made a few radio calls. When he was done, he turned to me and Peter. Not the best inauguration ball I've been to. Peter let out a nervous laugh. Certainly not, sir. Carl's radio suddenly crackled to life. Every second felt like an eternity as he pressed his ear to the receiver. When it fell silent, he turned to us. Good news. We're not in any danger at the moment. The situation's been dealt with and the perimeter secured by the guards and the police. Glanced towards Monica, Evelyn, and the kids. If I may, sir. He gestured towards a more private corner of the room and started speaking more quietly. This is what we know so far. We've confirmed that 2 people were gunned down in front of the palace. The attacker's one of them, and we have reasons to believe he's working alone. He fired 3 shots at an MP, 1 to the head, 2 to the body, instantly killing him. Residential guards at the palace immediately shot and killed the attacker. He's not been identified yet and will require an investigation. The MP that was killed is identified as Bernard Circus. Oh, this is huge, Anton. This will cause a lot of problems. A lot of problems. Peter pulled out 2 cigarettes and handed me one. He then turned to Evelyn. I could hear him trying to reassure her that everything's going to be alright. Monaco was still trying to tend to Gianna as Frank paced the room, mumbling that he should have stayed home. I sat down beside my wife and children. We're safe. I'll make sure everything's going to be fine. We can't be sure of anything anymore, Anton. Lit my cigarette and took a deep drag. I was going to see this through and keep my family safe. At all costs. I crushed a cigarette on the ashtray. Nice. Okay, let's check out the news here. All 3 of them from Swordland today. Rain calls for cooperation. President Rain gave signals about a cooperation with Friends Rector of the PFJP, Kassar Keebner of NFP, ahead of the inauguration ball. Regarding the remarks of Richter about a possible cooperation to fix current problems of Sorge political institutions, we want the other parties to join him in this endeavor, said President Rain. Richter has long been vocal about his democratization plans, but maybe his demands for constitutional change might finally become a reality if President Rain leads Bill together with Richter's PFJP. And Rain says Bill was necessary for democracy. One of President Rain's first acts in office was to sign a campaign finance law allocating public election funds by number of assembly seats, as opposed to the percentage of votes won in the general election. In an interview ahead of his inauguration ball, Rain claimed that this decision, which would effectively double the election budget for his own party, was necessary in order for the SP to truly bring democracy to Swordland. And last but not least, MP shot, nation in shock. Swordland has been shocked by grave news today as an elected member of parliament has been shot dead in a suspected political assassination. Police sirens were heard around the clock today as the whole Sword police force increased security measures around the capital. The fact that such a violent act happened at the heart of the capital during the new president's inauguration celebrations has worried many citizens. The Red Youth is reported to have promised revenge. It seems like it has potential to be a spark that would swirl Swordland into the political violence of the 1920s. Fantastic. Alright, and on that lovely bit of news, I think I'm going to go and call it for today. So, as always, thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you next time.